panelist category. So there's a range of features there that are on offer for panelists, and the ones that are probably most important for you guys as presenters for next week's event is the mute button, the start stop video button, which is down on the left bottom left hand corner of your screen, the share screen button, the chat function, and the Q&A function. So they're the 5 things that will be of sort of more of use for you guys or relevance for you next week. And we'll talk through those in a moment. But the other things that might be of interest to you is the view attendee list. So that essentially gives you sort of just provides you a list of those who are there observing. The request or give remote control button is something that's more of a function for the host. So for Anthony and myself, if there are any technical difficulties and we need to sort of gain control again of the presentation, which is a low likelihood. The raise hand function at the very bottom there is not so relevant for this particular event. Raise hand function is usually when an attendee has a question that they'd like to ask verbally. But in this case, and Anthony will talk through this when he goes through the conference flow a little bit later, that all the questions from attendees, we're asking them to use either in the chat function or the Q&A, as opposed to verbally asking. Thanks, Anthony. Oh, you're on mute. The joys of technology.
Oh, I'm a champion host, I am. All right, yeah, got to make everyone aware you're probably as new to this as I am. So I'm relying a lot on Stephanie's guidance and probably 100 different YouTube videos I've watched. So yeah, with regards to what Stephanie just said, if you have any questions, please submit them through the Q&A or the chat window. Otherwise, we'll move on, but we can always come back later on. Just one thing I'll add, you will probably see in the top left corner of your screen a little icon saying the session's now recording. It'll be shared with those presenters who couldn't be with us today. There were 2 or 3 that just couldn't make it due to other commitments. If anybody has an issue with that, because your videos will be visible later, can you please let me know as soon as possible so I can stop the recording, but hopefully everybody's in agreement. Okay, so where are we? So we've done attendees and panelists and audio and video settings. This one is probably a bit more straightforward than what we just did, and some may already have quite an understanding of how that will work. So was this one of yours, Stephanie, again?
Yeah, look, I'll mention just a couple of things, Anthony, with this one. And I'm just want to acknowledge Wendy's comment on fuel. So we can all be in the process of learning. Given the world that we're living in at the moment, it's all about technology and using online platforms. So we had a good example just before of Anthony being on mute and he started speaking. And didn't realise he should have unmuted himself. And that's the world we're in at the moment. I've done it countless times in meetings and presentations and events and things like that. So if that does happen, in that you start speaking but you haven't unmuted yourself because it's just another thing to remember, that's fine. Anthony and I will just subtly remind you. We can have a bit of a giggle about it because it is the world we're living in at the moment. So in terms of audio and video settings, so there's the unmute button, the mute and unmute button, the start video, and the share screen. So Anthony he's already actually mentioned this, but when you join next week to the event, you will actually be joining as attendees. And then when 5 to 10 minutes before you're due to present, Anthony and myself will shift your access to panelist. And then that will give you access to mute and unmute, to start your video and to share your screen. So we've talked about mute and unmute. That's fairly self-explanatory. So if you, when you're due to present, you unmute yourself and people will be able to hear you. And we do ask that when you are not speaking, so this is before and after your presentation, that you do mute yourselves.
Can I just add something there, Stephanie?
Absolutely, go for it.
We just got another comment from Wendy from Caxton Legal Centre. Are you able to unmute us? I don't know if you're asking for us to do it right now or you're just asking if it's possible. We can unmute you while you are an attendee. That is possible. But once you are a panelist, you will have the power to be able to unmute yourself and mute yourself at will. I hope that makes some sense.
All right, excellent. Wendy, just let us know if that doesn't make sense at all. But essentially, as attendees, you are unable to mute or unmute yourselves. Once you're a panelist, you are able to mute and unmute yourself. So Anthony, in this current, what we're meeting in now, are all the participants at the moment as panelists or attendees?
Okay, let me unmute myself correctly. Okay. Okay, so if we look at the participants list, which only the hosts can view at the moment, we have 8 attendees and 2 panelists, which are the 2 hosts, Stephanie and myself. So everybody is in attendee mode at the moment, but we will switch that after we discuss the attendee panelist roles a bit further soon. And then we will sort of have a gallery view similar to a Zoom meeting where everybody will be able to see one another and everyone will be able to talk. Wendy has also just asked, if we're a panelist and are making noise when we shouldn't or not be heard when we should be heard, can you change that on our behalf? That's right. So if you forget to mute yourself, we can mute you very easily. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
We do have that power, Wendy, just in case. Beautiful.
Okay, did anyone else have any questions about audio and video? Did you touch on video, Stephanie?
No, I'll just briefly. So in terms of the video, obviously we'd love to see the presenters' beautiful faces in addition to the presentation. So that's doable. So it's kind of like how you're seeing Anthony and myself at the moment. So you'll be able to see the presentation and then you'll see the faces up the top there. If you don't feel comfortable at all with sharing your video and yourself, then that's absolutely fine. I guess with in experience, it is nice to see the person who's presenting, to put a face to the name. So to be able to allow the attendees to view you, all you have to do is click start video, and that will come up. So that's the mute and video functions, and we'll go into share screen in a moment. Thanks, Anthony.
Okay, that's great. So Q&A and chat features. Now, several of you seem to be using the chat feature without an issue. Now, what you're doing is you're generally chatting to all panelists. That seems to be what you're doing. In the little to box at the bottom of the chat window, you will see that you can chat to all panelists, and then you can also chat to individual people, including Stephanie and myself privately. So that could be if you're having a technical issue or want to discuss your presentation start time or anything like that, it could be handy to maybe contact either of us as the hosts and we can help you privately without everyone seeing. So I hope that sort of makes some sense. And once you're upgraded to panelists, you'll all be able to chat amongst yourselves if you like and send messages to other panelists. But we'll try that again later on. The Q&A, as I mentioned before, that's simply a case of where you can ask a question, wait to be addressed, and then the question will be answered verbally by whoever is presenting at the time. There's a few other little features in there. You can upvote someone else's question, so it gives an idea of how popular the question is so that the presenter can get onto it quickly. Now, there's one caveat in that. I mentioned in my email I sent the other day, due to the length of the conference, and people can be quite time poor in our sector, not everybody will be online at any given time as an attendee. So please do not be disheartened if you don't get any questions at the end of your presentation. It could just be a case of poor timing, not many people around at the time. But the whole conference will be videoed, well, sorry, recorded. So there'll be a full conference video later on this year and all your individual presentations. So if you do a presentation, it will be on video and people will be able to access it later in the year. So I would suggest in one of your PowerPoint slides, if you're using them, or verbally, providing your contact details, including your email address, the best phone number, the web address for your organisation, so that people can contact you if need be. So I hope that makes some sense. But we'll play around a bit more with the Q&A. Did somebody want to, as attendees, did you want to have a go at trying the Q&A? You'll see the Q&A box at the top bar, which could be hiding. You might have to hover your mouse over the top of your screen and you'll see Q&A with 2 little speech bubbles. If you find that, did you want to try sending a message? Anybody? Oh, there we go. Agnes. Oh, how is your day going? Cheryl, I have 17 slides. Very good. So now, say, how is your day going? I get the options to type an answer or answer live. Are you seeing the same thing, Stephanie? Yep. So let's go answer live. Okay, so it's saying you would like to answer this question live. So my day is going very well, thank you, Agnes, and I hope yours is too. And Chad has said, hi, Anthony, sounds good. I'll type an answer to that. I'll type, thank you, Chad. I hope this is going well for you. And I get a box to send that I get a box to send that privately or publicly. I'm going to send it publicly at this stage. So send. And now you'll see there's 3 tabs up the top. Open, answered, and dismissed. I don't know if you get them or if only the hosts get them, but somewhere you will see my response to Chad's message. Wendy has said can you not see the Q&A box at all, Wendy? Is that right? I'll just wait for Wendy to answer.
So Wendy, if you do hover sort of down, like as Anthony sort of alluded to earlier, down towards the bottom of your screen-ish, there'll be a few options there. So it should say participants, Q&A and chat. So
mine's at the top, Stephanie. Is yours at the bottom?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it could be at the top or the bottom of the screen.
No, that's fine, Wendy. It's absolutely fine.
No, you're right, Wendy. We didn't even know where it was. So there you go. Yours is at the bottom. Mine's at the top. So yeah, check the top or bottom. All right. So that's a quick intro to Q&A and chat. We'll get the hang of it on the day. Even on the day, while it's a formal conference, it's not. We're not dealing with a Fortune 100 company. We can be quite relaxed about it at times. And with regards to the videos, there'll be a lot of editing going on. So if any mistakes get made, they can be cut out if need be. All right. Now we're going on to screen sharing. Now this one has been a bit of a learning curve for myself, although it's not incredibly complicated. It's just looking for the best way to do it. I sent out a video link to everybody who was attending today. Well, the people who had confirmed they were attending, with a video by a gentleman by the name of Kevin on YouTube, and he was explaining some different ways to share a PowerPoint presentation. Now, I believe Stephanie was going to have a go at explaining this.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I think she's a bit more au fait with the screen sharing than I am. But if you want me to cut in at any point, just let me know, Stephanie, and I will.
No, that's fine. Before I go on to that, Catherine just asked a really good question. If when we present and we don't notice a Q&A, can you as panelists advise us? Absolutely. We'll probably do that more so towards the end, because that way it avoids interrupting you essentially. But yes, we can certainly notify you, because it can sometimes feel a little bit much paying attention to various things on the Zoom platform, whatever platform you're using. So that's what we're here for. We can certainly let you know if there is any Q&A that you haven't you haven't seen at that point in time. So that's no problem at all, Catherine. So with screen sharing, so this is essentially what you guys will be doing when it's your turn to present. And so to enable you guys to share your screen and essentially share your presentation. So like Anthony said, it sounds a little bit daunting, but it's actually not. And if you do have a chance, please have a look at that YouTube video that he sent around earlier today, because it's actually quite useful. I have a preference towards one way of doing it. In the YouTube video, he kind of offers a couple of ways of doing it. In my experience, just with presenting on Zoom, I have used a function that's called Share Window. So I'm going to share my screen.
I wonder if I need to stop sharing mine. Give it a go without me doing it. See if it goes over the top.
Yeah, Anthony, it does say this will stop others screen sharing.
Yep, that's okay.
So I'll say yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so can you see that?
I can see that.
Yep, beautiful. Okay.
Can everyone else see Stephanie's screen, a Microsoft Word document?
Yep, beautiful.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, excellent. So what happened there? I unfortunately can't see it, but we might get you guys to play around with it. Anthony, it might involve actually moving them from attendee to panelist.
Okay, so we're going to get to that point now.
We can do that a little bit later.
Okay, when we get to that bit, yep.
Yeah, essentially what will come up when you click that share screen icon at the bottom is you'll have a number of options. So you can share your screen. It'll come up with the word screen. So that'll essentially open up your desktop. So people within the audience, so the attendees, will be able to see everything. So if you've got your email open, for example, they'll be able to see the notifications that come up from that. So I don't really recommend sharing your screen, but then if you've got your PowerPoint open at the time, you'll be able, there's an option that'll say share window. So if you click on that, that'll actually just come up with your PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint is all that the attendees will be able to view. If you've got video in your PowerPoint, you also see a box for you to tick in that section there when you're clicking on share window. There's a question at the bottom there that says something around sound and video. So you click that and then you click OK and it all comes up. But it'll make more sense when we go to sort of practicing that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so everybody will go to go at doing that during this session if they choose to. So if you've got a document on your computer that you are willing to share that we can see, nothing confidential, yeah, you'll be able to have a go. So yeah, we'll go through that. Okay, so now I will share my screen again and go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so I'm assuming everyone can see that again. Okay, now we'll, I know we're rushing through this a bit, but we've got plenty of time to talk afterwards. With regards to the conference flow on the day, all presenters will initially join as an attendee. So we ask that you join at least 15 to 20 minutes before your scheduled time slot. Okay, and you'll just sit as an attendee in the background. You'll be able to send messages to Stephanie and I, and we'll be talking to you, getting you ready for your presentation. Yep, so presenters will be contacted by Stephanie and myself using the chat feature. We'll send you a private message shortly after you join to ensure you're prepared to present. You'll be promoted to a panelist approximately 5 to 10 minutes prior to your time slot commencing. So this will then give you the power to unmute yourself and share your video feed when you're ready. As Stephanie mentioned before, we kindly ask that you keep your microphone muted at all times when not speaking, because you can get a fair bit of background noise, feedback, that sort of thing. And yeah, it doesn't make for a good experience. But as Wendy asked, we can mute you if need be. Presenters are welcome to ask for questions and comments at the end of their time slot. We're allowing a 15-minute buffer after each 15-minute or 30-minute time slot. So during that buffer, we will need time to go to the next panelist, but we can probably allow an overrun of 5 to 7 minutes for questions, or if your presentation goes a bit shorter, you'll have more time for that. So yeah, as we discussed before, Q&A box primarily, and then your presenter will respond to you from there, or verbally. Now, when you have about 5 minutes time remaining on your presentation time slot, Stephanie or myself will send you a message in chat. It'll just pop up at the bottom of the screen or at the top, and you'll know you've got about 5 minutes left. So you don't really need to keep an eye on the time that much, although it couldn't hurt if you do. When your time slot has concluded and you've finished up your presentation and you're ready to end everything, you will be demoted back to an attendee, so you can stay and watch, but your video and audio will then be disabled. But we strongly encourage you to attend as much of the conference as you can, because the more the merrier, and it'll be a much richer experience for everyone, I think. I'll ask for questions once I promote you all to panelists so we can have a live discussion. Okay, so we're up to any questions. So now what I'm going to do, or Stephanie can do it, entirely up to you. We're going to click through and promote you all to panelists. So what it will probably do, it'll temporarily kick you out of the webinar, but it will instantly rejoin you. You don't need to do anything. So I'm just going through them one by one. So you just have to bear with me for a moment.
It's working, Anthony.
It is working. You're starting to get some feeds.
Yep, we're nearly there. Yes, everyone.
That should be the last one. Now, what I'm going to do is close the stop screen sharing, and then we are now in gallery view. So I can see Chris, I can see Wendy, I can see Katie, Natasha. Who else have we got? Agnes. Now, if you try and unmute yourselves, do you want to just check if that'll work?
Yep, sounds good.
Good.
Yep.
There we go.
Done.
Okay, so we have Cheryl somewhere. Where are not? Okay, so we've got Chad, Cheryl, George aren't sharing their webcams.
Nice to see everyone.
Isn't it?
Feels strange otherwise.
Okay, so is everyone getting a gallery view where you can see everyone at once? It's not jumping between speakers. Cheryl and George, did you want to share your video?
I can't see it.
Okay, let me go ask to start video, see if it asks you.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There you are, with the sun in the background. Cheryl's actually my manager at work, so we know each other quite well. And I've asked George if he wants to start his video, but yeah, that's up to him if he feels comfortable doing that. Okay, so as you can see, this now looks more like a Zoom meeting, a bit more familiar to everyone. Now, did anyone have any questions about what we talked about before we go on?
No.
It's all pretty clear to everyone? Oh, that's good. Now, did anybody want to have a go at the screen sharing? Has anyone done screen sharing before?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so nobody wanted to have a crack at that? That's not...
I'll have a go. I'll have a go. It's Wendy.
Oh, Wendy, there you are. Okay, so you'll have a go at screen sharing?
A bit weird, isn't it? This, yeah. So I'll just go share screen.
Yep.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. So that's what it's telling me.
You're on mute again, Anthony.
Oh,
Now give it a try, Wendy. Thanks, Steph.
okay. I think I was sharing your screen. Okay. Is that right? Oh, no, here we go.
Have you got a choice of...
So do I go share computer sound, optimize screen sharing for video clip, or just share?
If you're just sharing like a static document, don't worry about that. If you're going to share a video, you'll tick that box. Oh, here we go.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Wendy.
So then it said to make it into... So then it said make it go slideshow from beginning. That's not the one I'll use actually, but yeah, is that showing up? Because I can't see, obviously.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Yes, that's coming up perfectly, Wendy.
Okay, thanks. So that's what that thing said, didn't it? To use the what do you call it? Like the PowerPoint presentation, not
Yeah.
just to do your window.
Yeah, the video was a bit confusing, and I think that's because he offered 3 or 4 different ways of doing it. But what you did then is absolutely perfect. That'll work quite nicely.
So just do that. I mean, I have to make a tweak to the presentation, but yeah, that's how to do it. Okay, thank
Sure.
you.
So you're comfortable with that?
Well, define comfortable.
Yeah,
look,
I get
it's
it.
possible. It's possible.
All right. No, that's good, Wendy.
Thanks. Thank you.
And Wendy.
It's great to have a trial run. Actually, I appreciate that. So thanks. Yeah, I haven't seen this kind of view before, where it's a webinar type. Yeah.
Yeah, the Zoom meetings, I think most of us have probably done 100 of them lately, but the webinar, it's a little bit different, especially from the host side it is. So, yeah.
And so on the day, we will never see each other again, as long as we live. No, just...
No, you're probably right. You won't actually see each other. So it's not an open forum sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, when we do the Q&A, it's possible we could do it that way, but it could just be a little bit messy. So Stephanie and I might look at that on the day. So yeah, if that sort of makes sense. All right, did anyone else have any questions or want to add anything at all? No? Yeah, do you have anything you want to say, Steph?
No, just really looking forward to the event next week and hearing from you all and the work that you do. I guess as with Anthony and I working in community development, and some of you might work in community development as well. This sort of stuff's really, really lovely, and just getting an understanding what everyone does. And I know this is some stuff that I can feed back to my colleagues in the Queensland office, who unfortunately can't attend the event next week, but it'll be useful for them as well in terms of the alcohol and drug prevention space. So looking forward to it.
Will it be possible, if it's recorded, will it be possible to chop it so I can use my section?
Yep, we'll be doing exactly that. So there'll be one video of the entire conference, and then there's going to be separate videos. So it'll be Wendy from Caxton Legal Centre and your video of just what you did. And you'll be able to download that, view that, share that sort of thing. Is that what you're after?
Absolutely. Thanks.
We'll do that. It might take me a month or two because I've got some other things on the boil, but I'll be getting it done as soon as possible.
No, that sounds great. Thanks. Yeah,
no worries. Okay, any more questions? I know we sort of rushed through it, but I know a lot of you are quite already skilled with Zoom anyway, so yeah. Let me just check the chat one more time, see if there's any questions there.
While you do that, Anthony, in terms of that conference flow that you spoke to before in the PowerPoint, that might be useful just to send out to everyone so they have it at hand, just for their own, just so they know, just the little bits and pieces that are relevant to them on the day as presenters.
I do plan to actually send out an email next week, another email about the conference flow itself. I'm going to update the program that I sent out with the times and the host, because we have got another presenter now. We've got Anglicare Southern Queensland InSync Youth Services from Beenleigh. So they'll be presenting on the Thursday afternoon. And as I did tell everyone, and I'm assuming you read, the 28th has been cancelled, so it's just a 2-day virtual conference now. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much 2 full days, although we are allowing lunch breaks, that sort of thing. So yeah, that falls in with the timing. Okay.
Okay, I have to get going, as I said in the
Sure.
email. And sorry. So thank you, and thanks everybody.
Thanks, Wendy. That's great. So we'll see you. Are you Wednesday or Thursday next week? Wednesday?
Good question, Anthony.
We'll have to check.
One of those.
Okay, we've just actually had a chat message. George here. I will have a private training session to try to ensure my gallery screen working. Okay, so George is having some technical issues, but that's okay. Okay. Well, I guess we can wind it up there unless anybody else wants to stick around and try anything or has any questions. But I don't want to hold you up too long. We just wanted to make sure you knew who we were, what we're doing next week, and yeah, go from there. And hopefully the internet gods smile upon us, and yeah, we don't all lose our connections or whatever. So yeah, so I think everything should be good, and yeah, it'll be a very good resource for the community.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, thank you, Anthony.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Yep, see you next week. Looking forward to it.
Anthony, sorry, George is still with us and he's got a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that.
His question was, what do you want us to talk about regarding not-for-profits?
Okay, it's pretty much just an introduction. I know, George, you're not from an organisation as such. You're from a group that's doing some great work, and you're made up of people that are connected with many organisations. We pretty much just want you to talk about the great work that you're doing, your future plans, any organisations you're working with, your ultimate goals, that sort of thing. Does that sort of make sense? I saw the thing you sent through by email to your colleagues and you copied me into it, and that looks ideal. So are you happy to just go with that? Ah, okay. We've had Alison join us. Let's promote Alison to a panelist.
Ah,
I didn't know Alison would be joining us today.
well, there we go.
I'll go ask to unmute.
Hello, sorry I was late.
Hello, that's okay.
I'm actually in the car, so I've
Oh,
over and I thought I'm just going to try and log in and make sure it's okay.
yep. So yeah, we've just pretty much finished up. There's just a couple of us having a quick discussion. I'm one of the hosts. Stephanie is also one of the hosts, and
Excellent.
Cheryl's still with us from Beenleigh Neighbourhood Centre.
Oh, hi Cheryl. I think we've met before.
Yeah, Cheryl's muted. Okay, so yeah, did you have any particular questions with regards to how it's all going to run?
Well, you've sent quite a few emails. It sounds, really well organised, so I don't have issues. I more just wanted to make sure that I could log in and, you could see me and I could see you. I do have a PowerPoint, but I don't have any issues with presenting my screen. So.
Oh, you've done that before, yeah.
Yeah.
Just be aware, on the day though, don't use the link that you used to join this session.
No.
The other link, you know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, sure.
Sure.
No, that should be good. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, the main thing we went through was screen sharing because we had some people who were a bit uncomfortable with it. But
Okay.
yeah, we got there. So yeah,
Awesome.
so that's good. Okay. Well, we were just about to wind up, so I'll let you drive off wherever you're going.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
You too. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
see you later.
Bye. Yeah, so that pretty much covers it.